Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Abysmii, Dead Palette.
All seven of us are here.
Yeah, frustrated, disappointed head shake. As you know, as both of you know, we share usage of the Fear Fiction channel. All three of us can sort of log in as Fearfic. We can post to the channel. We can, view statistics, analytics, shit like that. Correct?
Mm-hmm. So can Elias, yeah.
Yeah, so can Elias. But Elias basically is only allowed internet time in order to upload. He's only allowed the 5 hours it takes to upload each episode. So,
right.
I don't know if you know this, but I can see the search history of our account, and you guys have been searching some interesting stuff without logging into your other accounts. So
you can see that?
Yep, I can see what you guys have been searching, and I had some things I didn't know if you guys might like to explain. It's not a situation where you have to say which one of you did it, but I know one of you two searched each of these terms, and I was hoping that possibly I could get an explanation, just so we know, that it's not anything nefarious. Is that all right?
Okay. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide.
Okay. Well, I've pulled up the page here with our past search history and cutting out all the things I've searched for, which are completely normal. I would like to know, Abysmii, Dead Palette, Protestant Catholic beaten with extension cord? Why would, who did that and why?
I'm fairly, well,
that was in trending, so that was probably just an autoplay.
Oh, I see.
Well, we just got to do the SEO research. That was probably Elias just figuring out, how can we, find a creepypasta about that specific subject and then read it for, SEO optimization.
Well, see, here's the problem, though. I know that as we continue here, I know that both of you are going to blame Elias for everything, but he cannot possibly be behind every fucking search in our history.
You underestimate his abilities.
All of the searches about watermelons are completely mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't included those because I figured, that's just a healthy snack,
Yeah. And, just watching, muscular women crush watermelons with their thighs, just wholesome, it's like ASMR.
Right.
But instead of someone, showing you an electrical hum or playing with pencils, it's a woman pretending a watermelon is your head.
Right. Was Epstein robot? Okay, which one of you is into conspiracy theories? Because we've never discussed this either personally or on the show, but apparently one of you believes Epstein might have been a robot. It's a possibility.
Well, okay, that one was me.
Okay,
Because I do have a conspiracy theory that him and Elon Musk are both robots, or more specifically, androids.
Mm-hmm.
However, YouTube's dumb and doesn't understand what an android is, so I just put in robot.
Interesting.
And when you look at someone like the CEO of Facebook, Zuckerberg, it gets complicated because he's not a robot or an android. He's a synth. He is a synthetic human. If you cut him open, which I do not advocate doing, if you cut him open, there will be milk blood.
Milk blood.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen during the next congressional hearing that he appears on. Really looking forward to that.
All right. Well,
see, that's the thing is people saw him surfing and saw sunscreen on his face. Oh, look at this guy! He has too much sunscreen on his face. No, he's a synth. He's not going to burn in the sun. That was blood leaking out of his face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check off. I'm not even going to ask you guys then about the next one, milk blood. I'll just check that off as a search. Now moving on, we got a bunch here, so I got to move on a little quickly. We've got radish in ass. Neither of you want to. Okay. I guess neither of you want to take credit for that one? Is that correct?
No, okay, not in my ass, in someone else's.
Okay. Moving on then. We'll just move on past that. We've got the next one, help, radish lost in ass. So you You saying that's...
It wasn't lost in my ass. I was trying to find a how-to video on how to put radishes in people's asses. Okay?
Okay, I see. So you want to know what happens if you put a radish in someone's ass and it becomes lost?
You've got to... Cost-benefit analysis, you got to do your... It's like any sort of crowdfunding campaign. What are the risks and possible complications of going onto this venture?
Okay. All right, well, I guess I'll just move on to the next one here then, citing that as your explanation. Will this radish grow in my ass is the next search.
Risks and complications.
Okay. All right. Moving right on. Now I guess this might have been somebody looking for a story. Now that you say, maybe Elias was looking for stories, but I don't know. We may need to have a talk with Elias because this isn't really something we would cover. We've got to search for Billy Mays ex-paraplegic reader. I don't know why we would cover that, why we would read that.
I'm not part of the Billy Mays fandom. This is 100% Abysmii.
No, I think that was Chelsea logging on for Brandon, and Brandon just didn't realize it.
Okay. She thought Billy Mays was female, I guess. Since she's a lesbian
it's her kinks. I don't judge them. That's up to her. But that just smacks of a lolly if I've ever heard it.
Okay. Well, Billy is a very like if a woman is named Billy. Mm-hmm. Ooh, yes, ooh. That's a big turn on.
Okay, so maybe this also was Chelsea. Sexy Karen screams at shrinking testicles.
No, that was me, and that was funny.
Oh, okay. Now, you said it was funny? Like, is it funny as in, like, hey, it'd be funny if you showed your feet, that type of funny, or are you talking like...
I was just kind of going on a Karen binge, and I was pretty delirious at the time, so, that's really it.
So you were on a Karen binge, you got a little delirious, and you typed into the search bar, specifically, sexy Karen screams at, not just testicles, but shrinking testicles.
Yeah.
Okay. Just on a whim.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I'm really glad that we don't have a Live Leaks channel.
Yeah. All right.
Because that's where all the real dark stuff is.
That's true. We're getting toward the end here. We've got how to turn smegma into cash. I'm sorry, I misread that. How to turn cash into smegma. So one of you is looking to buy some smegma on the internet. Why would that be? What would be the possible purpose for that? Is it like some kind of organic spread for your toast, or what are we talking about here?
I think this is actually Elias, and he misspelled something into smegma because he's trying to raise funds for his school's bake sale.
What could he possibly have been looking for? Like yeast, or that wouldn't be a typo. That would just be
just a shot in the dark here. Do Mormons get when do Mormons get circumcised?
They are circumcised by the angel Moroni who comes to them in a dream and bites off their pecker. The entire thing, the whole thing.
Is that at age 18? Because he might just be getting. I'm gonna stop talking because this is.
You're pulling back the curtain a little too much.
Yeah, pulling back too much. Mm-hmm. Well, that might be his problem, is he's not doing that enough when he's in the shower, and now he just wants to make some cash off of his mistakes.
Okay, so one of you, I guess, is going to have to talk to him about that. It ain't going to be me. Alright, we're getting toward the end here. We got 3 more left. We got Will Smith harem game, how to seduce After-Earth Will Smith. Why? Is this like fucking, what is it? Doki Doki penis cock, whatever it is, the hentai.
No.
What's that hentai game?
DLC. That's DLC for the upcoming Honey Pop 2.
Honey Pop, that's what I was thinking
and
of.
I want to be like, I want to go into this game knowing fucking everything because I'm going to speed run it.
Right.
So that was just me doing research.
Now, you are aware that every option in the Will Smith harem game, all of your interaction options are just haha, right?
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. It's not the DLC I would have preferred.
Right.
I would prefer Karen's yelling at testicles. But,
that's true.
It is what it is.
Right.
It's one of those frustrating things where you get to the end of Mass Effect 3, and if you're playing the Will Smith run, your only options are haha in green, haha in blue, and haha in red.
Right.
A lot of controversy around that.
A lot of controversy. Yeah. You felt that it was leading somewhere, but in the end, it was just Will Smith with his positive affirmations.
Now, my biggest concern is After-Earth Will Smith, really? That's what you choose out of all the Will Smiths? I'm
not the developer of the DLC. Don't look at me.
All right. I would, ultimate husbando is, what is it, Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith. You know, good father, stand-up guy.
Well, what about 70 pounds, Will Smith?
I don't think anybody knows what that is. I think that's like a hidden Easter egg. All right.
Please. It's Men in Black 1, Will Smith.
That's true.
Know this.
Yeah, that's good. That's like the basic answer, I guess. Kind of, I'm not sure if this next one is problematic or not, because I don't know enough about politics. One of you searched Schmacko 2020. I don't know if that's a third-party candidate. Or...
This is you fucking projecting, because you just said the phrase, I don't know much about politics, when that's all you fucking talk about on Twitter all day. Don't lie to us.
Well, if I obviously don't know enough, because I didn't know somebody named Schmacko was running. What even is their first name?
Sure. Yeah.
What is
very cute?
Is Schmacko like a racial slur or a political slur?
I thought it was like a last name, because it's Schmacko 2020. I thought that was like an election thing.
Get out of here, you schmacko.
So DP doesn't know what it means, so that means Abysmii again? These are like all yours, dude.
You are projecting, good sir.
I don't know. I ain't searching for Schmacko.
Is that one of those Mormon angels?
Schmacko? Oh!
Moroni, Schmacko, and Dot, yeah.
These can't all be Elias, though, because he doesn't have enough computer time.
Unless he's lying to us.
You think he's getting up late at night, coming down in his little footy pajamas, with the little John Smith pattern?
Could be.
Little cartoon John Smiths.
Could be.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, so
I'm looking here, and I'm seeing that there are some things that I can't explain personally.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Brie Larson coming up so much in our search history?
Oh, that's just YouTube astroturfing.
Oh, okay, well, okay, fair.
Astroturfing, spelled Slimebeast.
By the way, Brie Larson put up a workout video, and everybody time-stamped where you could see her ass. Anyway, last two searches here. We're down to the final stretch. I just want to make sure we cover everything here. You've given me some good answers. You've kind of put my concerns at rest. Second to last here is, does zucchini cause cancer? Which is like, I just want to tell whoever that is, no.
That was a mistype.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to say, does zucchini cause cancer in cats? Because my cat attacked a zucchini.
Okay.
And I just wanted to know.
Okay, and finally we have help zucchini lost in ass.
I
don't see what's funny.
You would be that is like one of those hentais where all of your organs are displaced. If you put a zucchini in a cat, I have news for you folks. Cancer is the least of your worries.
True. All right, so enough about your new pitch to Pixar, Disney Pixar. One man, one cat, one zucchini. Up to Inside Out 2.
None of the original characters is completely different story, but they still call it Up to.
Yeah. All right, so what the fuck are we reading, jackasses?
Creepypasta. The Reddit Creepypasta.
For those of you that don't know, we're in charge of the Creepypasta subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
And if we deleted your story, haha.
I don't think we deleted a single story.
No, we like stories. Stories are great. Stop posting dumb shit.
Stop posting.
If your shit's dumb.
Stop posting pictures of girls you don't like and saying, "Look, a succubus."
So,
look, a harpy.
So Slimebeast posted a creepypasta fact, and it got a decent amount of attention.
God damn it.
And one of the user reports, and I don't know who the user was because it's anonymous, but it just said, "I hate this cringeworthy fuck of a subreddit."
Yeah. Dead Palette, was that you? I have some reports here. Help zucchini stuck in ass is one of the reports.
Oh
God, can we add a report option just to the wiki or to the subreddit that's just help zucchini stuck in ass? I hit the drop down.
Reason.
Yeah.
Frequently asked questions. What do if zucchini in anus?
Answer, just have a link to WebMD.
Maybe we could add a flare and just be zucchini in ass.
I just find it really funny because, like, there's tons of other just Jeff fan art and pictures that, I don't like them, but I'm not going to remove them because they are relevant, whatever. But, like, that's the one that pissed someone off. It was just some text going, "Hey, the original picture for Jeff the Killer has been lost." And that's what triggered somebody. It's just funny to me.
Well, you know why. And we're not going to go into it on the show, but you know why. So anyway.
But anyway, please check out the newly renovated r/creepypasta. r/creepypasta. r//wiki
/schmacko.html.
Please check out r/creepypasta, newly renovated without spam.
You can actually, there's a link right in the header that says see stories only. So if you don't want any image memes or anything else, you just want to read stories, you can frickin' click that.
Feel free to post stuff that's going to get removed from No Sleep for stupid arbitrary reasons.
I'm slamming my fist on the desk even though you can't hear it. Post cringe. Post cringe.
No, so this is specifically what we have this for. So imagine if you're writing a creepy story, and it's subtle, and it's weird, and you're trying to get a certain vibe across, but there's not a monster at the end, and you're like, man, No Sleep, they're just going to delete this story because there's not a monster. There's not a skeleton that pops out at the end. Well, I have good news for you. Go to r/creepypasta and you can post that and we won't delete it. It's like creepypasta delivered right to your box.
I'll tell you what not to post.
Creepypasta.
Don't post a picture of spaghetti and say, am I doing this right? Because that's fucking what everybody does. Don't post a truly scary creepypasta and then the post is carpeted kitchen. Everybody fucking does that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's my favorite MatPat video. Is creepypasta subreddit run by 3 assholes?
Is my kitchen carpeted? I've never been inside my own kitchen. I have food delivered. Let's find out if it's carpeted. Anyway.
I have a line of Uber Eats drivers outside of the office.
Yeah. Everything I consume comes in a box at my door every month.
Check out Kitchen Box. Kitchen Box is a carpeted box of kitchen delivered right to your kitchen box every night.
That's why MatPat loves Minecraft so much. Everything's boxes.
Do you think MatPat is like Howard Hughes? He's just in an apartment pissing and shitting into boxes and then putting them out on the step and they're just taken away somehow?
Yes. He has people do this for him, absolutely.
Okay.
So,
all right, this is The Night Stalker by SSJ Killswitch.
SJW what? I don't think we can say that.
Super Saiyan Johan Killswitch.
Why do I always go to Jew?
You have a problem.
That sounds like a poorly translated overseas love ballad. Why do I always go to Jew? He's trying to say you, everybody. He's trying.
What's wrong with you?
God damn it. All right, let's go. The story.
My name is Nolan Wilson. I'm a detective for Great Daddy, Kansas.
Wait a minute. Your name is what? And you're a detective for what?
Great Daddy,
Nolan
Kansas.
Wilson.
Nolan Wilson, not Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Olan Wilson.
Nolan Johnson.
Wilson.
Nolan Christopher.
Okay.
Nolan. Oh, okay. Focus up, boy. Focus up. My name is Nolan Wilson, and I'm a private dick, if you will, for Great Daddy, Kansas. People say
Great Daddy, Kansas. You'll love our dicks. Anyway.
Big Dick Daddy, Kansas.
Goodness gracious, Great Daddy, Kansas.
People say I'm too into the role, but I don't care. One day, I was called down to a crime scene by my buddy requesting I come quickly.
Not a fellow officer or anything. My friend was like, I found a crime scene. You should come quick.
Hey,
you're going to love this crime scene. Wow, it's got everything. Brains.
Dead hooker.
Dead hookers.
Dead hookah.
Is the buddy in this scenario just Meowth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on down to the crime scene.
Meowth, I'm so tired.
God damn it.
You just see these two chalk outlines on the floor, one with really pointy hair to the back. Jesse James, dying at the speed of light. Anyway.
As soon as I got there, I almost blacked out. There were 5 piles of flesh that vaguely resembled people. A truck was thrown into a tree. A car stuck in a building, and the road, capitalized R, was torn to pieces. I deduced that the smaller corpses were children, and that there were 2 of them.
Well?
Okay. Well, solid reasoning. And
could
the
be
other
little
3,
people, but fine. That's whatever.
Well, what is to tell us? Who is to say that maybe these 5 individuals were not any number of individuals culminating in 5 groups worth of people, and that they were shredded in some sort of human meat processing plant and then dumped into different piles, 2 small piles and 3 large piles.
Like some soliquid, yeah.
Some sort of soliquid, some sort of solid liquid.
I like the idea of it saying there were 5 piles of flesh that vaguely resembled people, and then having it go on to say, I asked the 5 police officers if...
All cops are...
Blobs?
Blobs? Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Double. I don't even know where I'm going with that.
Draw blob cop.
Blob cop, yeah.
Blob blarb cop.
Blurb blop blip blip.
Blip blop blorp blop. Yeah. Do it, double. I demand you draw blip blop blarb blop. We don't know what it is and we're not going to tell you.
Oh, god damn it. The 3 other people, the bigger ones, must have been adults because they were bigger. Well, hey, you saw the logic. We couldn't find any fingerprints on account of them being fucking blobs. There was no camera footage, and it was clear no animal could have done this. So the case was dropped.
Well, it's not an animal. I'm stumped. I don't know what else could be.
Let's see. There was a major accident. There's disfigured bodies. There's cars. Nope. All I got is animal, and that don't add up. All right, drop it, boys. We're going home. Chief.
I think that this shooting was a murder. Now, how the hell is an animal gonna hold a gun? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, 5 blobs here, and I think 2 of them were kids, 3 of them were adults. This is going to be one for unsolved mystery, folks.
Well, what if
if you or any of your loved ones know any blobs, call the number listed below.
Yeah. Oh,
we need you to come down to the station to identify a body? No, a blob.
We need you to taste test this blob.
The next day, however, I was called again. This time there were only 4 bodies, all seemingly adults except for one, which was a small chihuahua. Okay? Huh. I know this because it was the only body that wasn't in pieces. Instead, only the head was bit clean off. The owner of this dog was a man named Henry Rogers, who had a brother.
Whoa.
It was the brother, calling it now. After this...
His brother, Blib Blob Rogers. I suspect him.
After this, I felt like I was being followed by something. But every time I looked over shoulder, I didn't see anything strange.
You read it wrong. Every time I look over shoulder...
I didn't see anything strange. It wasn't until a week later that I heard tapping on my bedroom window. I got my gun, a 9mm spelt... I think it's the European spelling of millimeter. And
I got my gun that was permitted to me by the government.
I got my knife.
I got my gun. This is my 9mm knife. I got my gun, which is given to me not by my God-given unalienable rights, but by my coming European.
Yes.
By my becoming European.
Hello, I am from UK. Ukraine.
Ukraine. I got my gun, a 9mm, and crept towards the window. But when I pulled the curtain back, I didn't see anything. Just a forest filled with birch trees. Something caught my eye, though. A silhouette moving in the darkness. When I went outside to investigate, nothing was there, and I chalked it up to being a homeless drunk spelled with a capital D, walking by.
Drunk with a capital D.
This Slimebeast, did you write this? Because
yes.
It's just capitalized random ass words.
Yes, I did, actually.
So
you found me out.
It's important to note that if you're going to be writing from the perspective of a detective, you need to know enough about that world to write it realistically. And we don't know much about detectives, but we know enough to know that this author isn't a believable detective.
This is also, like, everything is happening really, really fast.
Yes.
I'm a detective. There's 5 dead bodies. Nothing wrong there. Oh, by the way, there's 4 more dead bodies.
One's a chihuahua, though. That's pretty...
And one of the reasons that I know that this isn't a detective is because no one would say, I got out my 9mm. Like, no detective would say that. Like, maybe if you're, like, a... gangster type person, you might say like 9. You might not say 9mm, but you might say 9.
This is very.
But you would say like
heater.
No, like if you're a detective, you would say like, my Smith & Wesson, my Colt 911. Like, you might not even say that. You might just say pistol.
Sidearm.
Sidearm, whatever.
Yeah. My shooty for that booty, yeah.
This really smacks of you see it a lot in haunted cartridge games or something. I was playing GoldenEye and I got to the level where you first get the AK-47 and I used the AK it's important to know that it was an AK-47 when it just means absolutely nothing to the story.
Well, there's no AK-47 in that.
That's why it's a haunted game.
Don't they have another name for it?
Yeah,
or is it
I need to know this now.
The British in Britain, they have another word for the AK-47. It's the
it's the KF-7 Soviet. You're right.
It's not a name. I was going to say something stupid. Oh well.
They got an Akadaka 47.
They got a Ratty McTaddy. Before I could go back to sleep, I was called down again, but this time the scene was different. Instead of piles of identifiable flesh, that would be unidentifiable flesh, at the side of the road. This time it was a gas station on the side of the road. No. This time it was a gas station with only one body. Someone identified as Jane Hyan, Heian, Hyan, stabbed through a pole. So her body is stabbed through a pole? Or is she stabbed through...
Jay's usually...
Is it Bailey J?
What?
You said she. The first name is Jay, like short for Jason.
Oh, alright, well, whatever. The police were called when someone heard the man's cries in the night. On the wall in the back, there was a message written on it with blood, saying, "Stay away."
Ooh.
They had concluded that the same person who had committed those other crimes had done this as well. But there was no evidence at the scene. Okay, how did you determine it then? There was no evidence, but this completely different style of murder was done by the same person.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. A scene would have evidence.
Yeah.
No matter, everything is, the location of the scene itself is evidence.
This is like...
The body is evidence. The pole is evidence.
This is the script to Deadly Premonition 2.
I heard rustling from behind me, in the woods, and when I looked, there was a deer. Oh, an animal did do it. That had its head bitten clean off. Oh. How was it rustling? Was it walking around?
Yeah, it's like chickens can survive with their head cut off for
that old
15
phrase,
minutes.
like a deer with its head cut off.
Yeah.
That night I heard banging outside my house. Sexy. And when I went to check, I saw...
It was the drunk again. He was banging a fellow drunk.
Yeah. When I went to check it, I saw nothing except a large shadow retreating into the trees. Must have been rooting through my trap. What?
I gotta tell you, I read that as an exceptionally large shadow. It was a very large shadow.
An exceptionally large drunk must have been rooting through my trash, as my bin has been overturned. Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Does anyone else feel like this is just... There's no structure here, that is just going from point A to point B to point C with no connective tissue, no significance?
Absolutely.
I think this is a child of no sleep style rating. I think that, there's multiple parts to this where it's going to be revealed much, much later what anything is that's going on and, stuff like that.
But there's nothing to actually intrigue us because it's just thing happened.
It feels like if you put it in a park, this feels very much like those incidental... One time in the park there were piles of flesh. One time a person was stabbed through a tree. One time a chihuahua had its head bit off. It feels like those... just little vignettes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, those little vignettes, I think that you can do stuff like that. I love the story Normal Porn for Normal People, but that has a structure under it that allows it to have, seemingly unrelated things, and then they start to make sense in a certain way. They start to loop together, and it's like, oh, okay, that relates to this, and I can't figure out how to relate this, but it probably is related because these things loop in this way.
There's also the issue... Sorry, go ahead.
This just feels like there's a bunch of different surreal crime scenes that can't logically have an explanation, and fuck it, we'll figure out a way that we can explain them later, or not. Maybe we'll just keep giving more questions and lose ourselves in the mystery, which is a style of writing I'm not a fan of.
There's also the issue of our protagonist, who is a detective who has done zero detective work, and if if we had changed that and just said this is just a person and these events happen around where they live, it would actually it would be a bit creepier. It would be a bit more intriguing because this stuff's happening around my apartment and it's freaking me out. But this is, I keep getting called into work and then I leave. And this is what happened.
It's very important that you write to what you know. That's an adage for a reason, and you can break that rule, but then you have to do a little bit of like research into it. So like if you look at the stories I write, and I'm not talking about me to like talk myself up.
Sure.
I'm just saying that I write because I know my limitations and I know what I can and can't do. I can never say, oh, hey, I'm a journalist, guys, because like I can't write in that style, so I suck at it. I gotta write what I know. I'm a pervert. I like video games. Like I can write stories about those kinds of things.
I like women on fire.
I like women on fire. Listen, okay. I like having my head crushed like a watermelon. I know about that.
I like going to houses and apartments without Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that as well. Yeah, listen.
Abysmii is just like, I eat rice.
I like rice and I like it black. I like grains and I like them flat.
You see, I'm just a bad cook, so I always burn the rice until it's basically a charred mess and eat it.
And then you're so embarrassed you go to the parking lot next door and throw it out on the ground.
Shoot people with it.
Yeah.
But leave a comment below if you get why it's funny that he would leave black rice out.
That is a testament to how little I write. The only story anyone ever remembers is black rice.
Goddamn.
I remember your Fleming storage unit. I can't fucking remember the number, but I know the story.
Oh, it was like 6 or something. I forget.
Can't even remember the number. God damn.
The number's not what's important. My feelings of someone following me had only gotten worse as I started to catch glimpses of glimpses of Shadow watching me. Shadow the Hedgehog.
I mean, it says
Shadow
Shadow, but still.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my doing, or it wasn't doing anything, but it was just unsettling enough for me to install cameras in my house.
Ooh.
My story ends when I called. Okay, so the story's about to end.
The story ends halfway through the story? Okay.
Yay.
This is The Night Stalker Part 1, but it's going to end here. My story ends when I, uncapitalized, called one final time to the center of town where 3 people had been murdered.
God damn it. 2
of them were unidentifiable corpses that I had expected. But the last one had been torn in half, her legs were never found. And the top, I can't find your fucking legs. I just can't find your fucking legs. Anybody get that joke?
No.
Is that too dated?
Okay,
yeah.
For our audience out there, I'm gonna make a joke you can relate to. Okay, my leg! Okay, there we go. SpongeBob, anybody? There you go.
I used to be an adventurer until I lost my fucking legs and my body was torn in half.
Here's a thought.
Fucking Rambo. Have you never seen Rambo? Rambo's a good movie.
It's not that it's a bad movie, it's just,
I don't think I've ever actually seen a Sylvester Stallone movie. Weird.
Watch Rambo.
No.
Yeah, the rest of them are nothing. Like, no. I mean, people love Rocky, but eh.
Okay, here's a question for you. How cool would it be if you went to a crime scene and there was a pair of legs with the upper half of the person missing? You go to a crime scene much later to a recent murder that happened that day, and it's the upper half of the person. You're like, well, wait, how did they get killed now if they were killed back then?
Slimebeast, what would you do if
it must have been a magician?
Yeah.
Lol. Slimebeast, what would you do if kids routinely came and vandalized your yard, but the vandalism was just putting tons and tons of mannequin legs all over the place?
I would probably put a sign out front, mannequin legs $5 per, each leg.
Good answer.
Yeah, two for 15. Go ahead, what?
Slimebeast, what would you do if a bunch of prank kids, kids that are pranks.
Are they
kids,
real or are they?
They're real kids, but they do pranks. They're pranksters. Pranksters is a little.
Sorry, honey, I'm not actually correct.
There's a bunch. The pranksters should roll up on bicycles with a bunch of dollar bills and start throwing them on your lawn, saying, "Ha, you're a prostitute. Ha, you're a stripper. Ha." And they just keep riding off, but they keep throwing dollar bills on there, and it's like $30 like every day, like $30 worth of singles, $32, $33. What would you do if they did that?
This sounds disturbingly personal. Have people been doing this to you? You sounded kind of angry, and it sounded very specific.
No, but like, what would you do? Would you be indignant? Would you feel degraded? What would you do?
I probably would get each of their mothers and over the course of like 10 years progressively get to a point where I could pimp them out, get them addicted to drugs, shit like that. Start with gateway drugs, move into harder stuff until they need to turn tricks to, get their next fix, and basically one day when they came running by to say you're a prostitute or biking by or whatever, I would just have them all out on my, sidewalk or out in front of my house, like, work in the corner. All their moms. By the way,
Elias, gateway drugs mean Flintstones vitamins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stay out of them. We need those.
Yeah. They're mine.
Yeah.
You feeling a little sick? Just take a handful of hydroxychloroquine and then wash it down with some Monster. You'll be fine.
Oh, could you imagine if they had hydroxychloroquine, but it was Trump-shaped, like the Flintstone vitamins?
What if
positives?
Her legs were never found, and on top of her body had been drained of bloody. Okay, Brandon. That's Brandon being dumb. Her name was Sally Bay, a bartender. There were no correlation between this murder, so the police were at a loss.
Wow, this is the worst precinct I've ever heard of in my life.
Okay, so if you're going to write a detective story, there has to be detecting.
Yeah.
If you're going to write a story about an investigative journalist, there has to be investigation, like where the bad kids go or whatever.
Well,
if you're going to write a story about, the story needs to be about what the story's about.
To be fair,
no one is taking prints. No one is interviewing anybody. No one is investigating who Sally was. Like, really?
I like the idea of her top half being drained of blood. It's like, yeah, her legs are gone, but the thing is, I think they mean he's a police detective as opposed to a private detective, or is that true?
Oh, no, we made that joke at the beginning. He's definitely a police detective. It was just it's not really explained at all, but due to the fact that he keeps getting called down, yeah. Like,
so, I mean,
police are calling
he obviously isn't
going
to be doing any detecting if he's a police detective. Private detective, maybe, but if he's a cop, I don't think he's going to give a shit.
I don't know, maybe it's just because the idea of disembodied legs, but I'm just missing Vagina Island right now. That was a fun.
We need to find some more Let's Not Meet stories that are obviously fake and read those in the future soon.
Audience, do our job for us and find us some interesting Let's Not Meets that are not scummy bullshit.
Yeah, please, just anything that doesn't contain what is clearly real victims, especially, and try and avoid, I don't know, like a specific kind of assault, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, put your suggestions in the comments below, and make sure to like the video. If we get to 1,000 likes, we might read your story.
We don't have 1,000 subscribers.
Shut up.
Later that night, I heard tapping on my window,
Ooh.
But this was no longer a surprise.
Oh,
I got out of bed and angry, and instead of going towards the window, I went around back and took my flashlight with me. I turned it on and was horrified to see a large thing standing on two long legs with equally long arms. It had no face and was wearing a suit. Its body was completely black with no features on its face, except for some scars around where its mouth should be. It was tapping on the window, almost as if
Tapestry Dave.
Let me in. Just let me in already. Go away, Tapestry Dave.
I'm tapping on your window. Stop it. I'm trying to sleep. Anyway, let me put on some white noise so I can fall to sleep. Click. Bow, 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 bow.
When you said white noise, I thought it was going to be like CNN or something.
God damn it.
Yes, Don Lemon here.
That's what this podcast is. It's white noise.
Let me put on some white noise. Click. And then it's just the continuation of our show, because that's us.
Yep. Somebody edited us into an episode of Fed Albert. It was tapping on the window, almost as if it was a game. It should be were a game. It tuned towards me, which should have been impossible because it had no eyes.
Oh boy.
I shot at it, and the bullet went straight into its arm, and it recoiled in pain.
Badass. That's badass.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Pulled a burner on him, and This was the worst thing that I could have done because it ripped its face in half, blood covering it to reveal a mouth, I guess, of jagged teeth. I ran, but before I could go anyway, its long arm grabbed my leg and tore it off.
Damn.
I screamed as loud as I could and shot it again, this time the bullet grazing its head.
This time it deflected the bullet with my leg.
And it laughed at me. Blood began to spill from it. I began to shout for someone to help me. It said something in a language I couldn't understand, probably Italian, and grabbed me again, its arm stretching even longer. something than it did before. It tossed me through my bedroom wall, and I was stabbed through my stomach by a broken wood board. Mm-hmm. I figured it would be best if I played dead. So I tried to make as little noise as I could. It must have thought I was dead because it jumped into the woods behind my house. Wow. Wow.
It just yeeted itself into the tree line.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So, yeah, I mean, legless, stabbed by a broken wood board. I assume that this couldn't go on No Sleep because the narrator dies at the end of the story.
Here's the crazy thing. This is part 1. Mm-hmm. There's at least 2 other parts.
I like the idea that part 2 is just him going through rehab with one leg, and that's the entire story. There's no monster, no nothing. It's like, this is really tough. This is the real horror.
I met a man named Hank in rehab. Now we're married. This is our story.
Yes.
I like the idea that, he's going through rehab, and it's mostly just about the horrors of having a colostomy bag.
God damn it. There was a pile of undiscernible matter on the floor.
Elias, I want you to name this episode not 5 piles of flesh that vaguely resembled people, but 5 people that vaguely resembled piles of flesh.
3 people who vaguely resemble critics. I don't know.
Lol.
So what is this now? Oh, jumped in the woods behind my house. I forgot that paragraph was over. Jesus. I crawled back into my house even though I was thrown into it and impaled on the board. I crawled back. I guess so what happened was he was thrown into the house, stabbed by the wooden board. The wooden board bent back and then catapulted him back out the window. Poing.
And then he goofy screamed.
Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-wee. I crawled back into my house, about 7 or 8, nearly bleeding out, and called 911 to get there as quickly as possible. Then I blacked out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital. I was Jeffrey Miller.
I just have to point it out. When I uncapitalized woke up, I capitalized. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing this to me, story?
This is specifically to fuck with Brandon. It's the meta now,
Well, what's the author's name? I hate Brandon Patrick. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Apparently my large...
I'm clearly too much of a player.
God damn it. Apparently my large intestine had been cut through, and I got a transplant in a hurry. Oh, he's got a large intestine transplant. I wonder who the donor was, the monster? It bled out and died in the woods.
Ooh, that's a twist.
Now I have monster bowels. I told the
monster... it's just a lawsuit. It's just like, listen, I'm sorry. I'll kill myself.
Jeez.
You can have mine.
Yeah. I told the police my testimony, but they didn't believe me. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. No apostrophe. I was unable to return to work, and I now work at a grocery store. No! No! I work at a grocery... The next story is going to be, I work at a grocery store, and there were 5 piles of flesh on aisle 7. Never again did I hear, H-E-R-E, tapping on my window, but sometimes I feel that thing is still behind me, watching me. Okay, one thing I will say for this is it is a self-contained story.
That has a part 2.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't have to read part 2. In other words, it's not like...
I'm looking at part 2, and it's, my name is Laura Jones. I live in Sandaddy, Kentucky.
What?
So, this is actually an anthology series of people encountering the Night Stalker, which has to be this definitely not Slender Man entity.
I think Kolchak just, has fallen on tough times and he's out night stalking people at random. But the thing is, as I said, one thing I'll give this is you don't have to read the second part. It's not like, I'll get back to you soon, no sleep, what do you think it was? It's like, actually is a self-contained story,
I almost bled out and had to have my entire lower intestine replaced, so the only thing I could possibly do is work in a grocery store.
As a shopping cart.
I think we can say that the ending half, the last 2 paragraphs are in upon themselves a self-contained story. The rest of it isn't so much a self-contained story because it's a lot of stuff that doesn't really have to do with the core situation. And there's not a whole lot of clues given earlier on that'll tell you that link in any way. So I think that the ending itself is more self-contained than the rest of it.
It's essentially it's all it is a monster exists and it killed people. That's really
that's not a bad thing. That's not a terrible thing because what's the movie Alien? There's a monster and it kills people. It's fun. Get the fuck away from it.
I admire that this author has gone through the trouble of making a little universe, a little anthology series around this creation. It's got a lot of issues. I don't even know where. It would need a complete rewrite or just reconceptualization to make this work. But I admire the effort, and I know we say that all the time, but really, effort is a lot of writing. Lots of good writing, and so don't it needs a lot of work, but I don't hate this.
So I think that I will thank this for giving me an idea for a no story post, which is I got a bowel transplant from a monster, period, and then the next sentence is, what am I shitting? ? What is this?
Ooh boy.
All right.
When did I eat corn?
So that's the end of this episode. See you next time, everybody, on the Fear Fiction Podcast. Cue the music. Boom, chicka, boom, boom, chicka, chicka, boom.
Bow, 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 bow.
Boots and cuts and boots and cuts and boots and cuts. It's 49 minutes. We're not really.
No, we're
okay. Everybody was silent.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Joking.
Yeah, no. We'll just So Pat and the man in the white.
Pat and the man in the plan with the white in the van by the river.
And the man with the goods. I used to live in a haunted house.
Hold up. So, first of all, this is also on the Creepypasta subreddit. This is by NerdXCoreX Creep.
When you're reading Leet usernames, the X is silent. It's Nerdcore Creep.
Oh, like Nerdcore, like the rap subgenre.
Yeah.
Oof. So does that mean we have to read this all in a rap cadence?
Yes. Okay, go, Dead Ballad.
I used to live in a haunted house. When most people hear me say that, they chuckle and usually don't believe me. But I sound like Pat Sajak.
What? Welcome to Wheel of Fortune. My name is Pat Sajak. What?
Spin that wheel and don't.
Spin that wheel now, don't.
That's my favorite lost episode.
He has
Spin
to
that wheel and don't.
He has to tell people to take their hand off the wheel or they'll get pulled into it. So he's like, spin that wheel now, don't.
Spin that wheel, now stop. Back up. Get away from the wheel. Now stop. Back up. Or you will get killed.
That's right.
But I've seen undeniable proof of ghost, whom I refer to as Patrick, or Pat for short, which inhabits my home. In fact, on a few occasions, I've seen him with my own eyes.
I used to live in a haunted house, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, when people think of haunted houses, they think of old, dusty, two-story homes that were built on Native American burial grounds, or was the place of a death years prior.
And I just want to say, just quickly, over the internet, I could hear Dead Pallet's annoyance that you didn't wrap it.
Well, because I was thinking...
I could hear his feelings.
I couldn't do the same 90s bullshit that had to do, fucking hardcore. Typically, when people think of haunted houses, they think of an old two-story house that were built on Native American burial grounds, or some stupid shit like that, I couldn't think of anything to do. I can tell you now, neither of those is the case when it comes to my home. My grandfather built this house after he married my grandmother, and it's been in my family ever since.
Aww. So, DP, you're called. Do you want me to wrap this or no?
Yes.
I need you to wrap it. Okay, everybody look forward to our sketch at the end of this episode about rapping. About you guys writing rap songs for me.
Okay, sure. Okay. My name is Slimebeast, and I'm here to say, after my grandparents died, it was inherited by my father, and after he, my mother passed. Wait, no, and after he and my mother passed, it came to me. That's fucking awful.
Oh, that was fire. Keep going.
You might be thinking that Pat must be the ghost of my grandfather, or father, but no, that's wrong too. Break it down.
So it's the guy from Lazy Town.
Robbie Rotten?
Yeah.
He's been around ever since my grandfather completed construction. Anyway.
You might be thinking that Pat must be the ghost of my grandfather or father, but no!
No!
You just turned into the CEO of Valscarium.
Oh no!
It's
Remember
happening again. Full moon is out.
I don't like myself when I'm the CEO of Valscarium.
You're not yourself when you're the CEO of Valscarium. Slimebeast, have a Snickers.
Sporticus, I need you to take this pill. It's going to make you faster.
When I say go, swill.
The Snickers bar is laced with Valscarium.
Wasn't there an episode of Lazy Town where Robbie Rotten tries to get Sportacus addicted to crack?
Sure.
Sniff this off this dumpster here.
On a very special episode of Clone High. Anyway, keep going.
Have you ever been skiing? Do you like to hit the slopes?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Do what you want because a crackhead is free. You are a crackhead. Yar har fiddly-dee. Why are there insects all over me? Give me a hit and I need it for free. I am a crackhead.
Is that coke or is that meth withdrawal?
It's meth. We've got it in a hidden box with a few crack rocks. I chewed it into my eye. Okay, anyway.
You have one sentence. Finish it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck. Really? Where?
He's been around?
That's wrong too, is where I stopped?
No, he's been.
He's been.
Oh, yeah, this is where you stopped.
That's wrong too, was the previous thing.
Yeah.
He's been around ever since my grandfather completed construction. There. That was my.
It was like he was there during the process of building the house either. Pat literally showed up a day after all the work was said and done. Obviously, this initially freaked my grandparents out.
His initials freaked me out. His name was Stephen Smith, SS. This first sentence, though, it wasn't like he was there during the process of building the house either. So I'm kind of lost, and I think it's because of our bullshit. I'm not sure exactly what the point of any of what we're reading is so far.
Well, it's talking about Pat. So the grandfather built the thing, and then it has this weird skip, and then it says it wasn't like he, Pat, was there during the process of building the house either.
Okay.
Pat literally showed up out. Yeah, so there's a problem there because we're switching time and scene and importance of all these details.
Yeah, I was just thinking like the grandfather or father, and I was like, who wasn't there? Like what? But yeah, okay.
Nothing malicious ever happened, though. Just some sounds of footsteps, the occasional sounds of the doors opening and closing, and a drop of temperature in whatever room Pat was in at the time.
Do you think his full name is Pat R. Geist?
Yes.
The thought of a ghost being in the home, however, just didn't sit right with them at first. I wonder why. They tried everything they could to banish him. They called in priests and even an exorcist, but nothing ever worked.
See, they should have got a Muslim.
Yeah. A priest, a rabbi, and a imam walk into a haunted house.
No, not an imam, just any random Muslim.
Oh, okay. I see. Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, to be fair, I could see somebody's grandparents doing that. You're a Muslim. You know, do some of that.
Hey, just
do some of that.
Just do some Muslim in there.
Yeah.
Get your prayer rug out and just, I don't know, do the thing. The hands.
Oh, dear.
You need to do it 5 times for it to work?
Now,
it's okay.
Now, you've been the bag boy at our local supermarket for quite a while, young Ahmed, and we like to think that we're friends, so maybe you could come over to our house and do some Muslim things, but not too Muslim. Not too much Islam.
Mrs. Smith, I had to get an entire lower intestine transplant. I used to be a detective. Don't think I'm an exorcist.
Oh, God. So, where are we here? Did I finish reading?
No.
God fucking damn it.
This is why we don't wrap every paragraph, guys.
They called in priests and even an exorcist, but nothing ever worked. After many attempts, they had contemplated selling the house and moving away. But my grandfather just wouldn't accept that.
Bum, bum, bum.
He had built that house with his own 2 hands, and that pride wouldn't allow him to abandon it, man. Eventually, my grandparents learned to live with Pat. As I said, he was never malicious or did anything to cause harm like that. He was just there.
So this story is called Pat and the Man in White. So I'm guessing the Man in White is the actual problematic poltergeist that we're going to encounter soon.
Cancel the Man in White.
You know, you don't want any
I stand
PPs.
with Pat.
I'm tired of PPs in my story. Problematic poltergeist. Not about it.
After my grandparents died, my father thought that their ghosts would linger around the house as well. But that never happened, so whatever. Pat was the only entity around, and it would stay that way. My father tried to learn more about Pat by researching the area where we lived, but never found any credible results. It was as if Pat just materialized out of nowhere once the house was finished. So there's a mystery here. I don't know that I really care about it just because of what events have transpired, but
I mean, I don't know for sure, but if I were to guess, I would say, it's a typical thing of somebody, being in the walls or under the floor or something like that of either, a dead body or somebody who was helping build the house or some shit like that, or an enemy of Grandpa, but, that would be like the cliche thing, but I don't know if it's going to go there. Hopefully not. Anyway, one time, is that me?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it was the right paragraph. One time, when I was a teenager, a group of friends came over and we tried to communicate with Pat through an Ouija board. An Ouija board. It just looks wrong. My parents had strictly forbidden this, so of course, being the teenage dumbass that I was, I decided to do it anyways behind their backs. This is usually the part of the story where all kinds of hell would break loose because of that Ouija board. But that didn't happen.
This is trying really, really hard to subvert expectations, but then it's telling us that it's trying to do that.
One time, Pat possessed a doll, and I know what you're thinking. It ran at us with a knife and screamed, but no, it made pancakes for us.
It took out the trash.
Helltaker? After many unsuccessful attempts to contact him, Pat finally showed up himself to us. First, his body was faint. It was just a fainting ghost, and we couldn't make out any real features other than the shape of his body, and let me tell you, smoking.
I really like the idea of a fainting ghost, though, where he's like, oh, humans, oh, and he faints right through the floor.
That's a no story. Ghosts were scared of me.
Yes.
But he looked to be about my height and weight. Had short hair, black dress pants, and a white shirt. Dress shirt. It was just Jeff the Killer. The ghost was Jeff the Killer.
So, the ghost looks like our narrator. Is that a clue of some sort?
Maybe the man in white represents us.
Wait, how do
because
the
we're
ghost
white.
Looks like our narrator.
Aren't the true men in white the Klansmen we met along the way?
Yes.
No, but seriously, how do we know the ghost looks like our narrator?
Because it said, though.
Yeah, he looked about my height and weight, had short black distance.
Sorry, I totally...
God damn, Abysmii, try to keep up. Okay, is it me yet, or is it someone else? I don't know.
Oh, it's me. Hi, Pat, I said in a quiet voice. He stood there and gave me a confused look. That's not going to translate well because of the fucking silence removal that Elias does. Mm-hmm. So try to leave that, gap in there.
Poor Elias. He has to go through and hand remove all the silence.
Hello, silent smile. And then slightly smirked, closed his eyes, and lifted his arm in a wave. I continued, Pat's probably not your name, right?
No, Pat said. My name is Adolf. What? Uh-oh. He shook his head, keeping the smirk on his face. I continued on. Well, can you tell me your name?
My name is Arnold. I was playing Minecraft, and then you built a house on my bunker.
You've got to get out of the house, now! The smirk left his face and was replaced by a sad look. He looked down to the floor, and then to me, and shook his head again.
Oh, so he is buried underneath everything.
I don't have a name. I guess that he must not have been able to speak, which made sense, seeing as there had never been any moans or wails or any vocal that you would expect from a haunting. Can you use the board? I informed him, pointing to the wooden box. He walked over to it, using his finger, and spelled out DONTREMBER.
Huh. So his name is Don Trember. Okay.
Don Tremember.
Name's Don Trember.
Look forward to the sketch at the end of the episode. Don Tremember. I don't know what the fuck.
He looked up at me again, still a sad look in his eyes. Is it all right that I call you Pat? I asked for the sake of him at least having a name. He nodded, and the smirk came back.
Smirk came back the very next day. After that experience with Pat, my friends and I decided to look into other paranormal activities. We watched Paranormal Activities. We live in Ohio, so there was plenty to look into. Oh, boring
because there's
fucking
nothing
Ohio.
else to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of haunting memorabilia shit in Ohio.
Ohio, the place nobody ever leaves. There, even if you're dead. There is only one experience, however, that stands out from the rest, and it would be the last.
After inheriting the house, following the death of my father from a years-long battle with cancer, my mother had died giving birth to me.
Jesus.
I turned it into a base of operations for my friends and I.
Uh-oh.
We would meet there and plan out where we would investigate.
Is this Zach Baggins?
It feels like Zach Baggins.
That sounds like the motto for like a plushie of Zach Baggins. Feels like Zach Baggins.
This time it was an old abandoned mental hospital that was known as The Ridges for her pleasure. It was famously known to be haunted, so I was particularly excited to visit it, as it had been a dream of mine to do so ever since we first got into the paranormal game.
I don't hate the story, and I'm along for the ride with the story, but I'm kind of surprised we're just shifting from Pat to a different location and a different scenario. Like, oh.
Well, we have to get to the man in white or whatever, and I don't hate the story, but I also have pretty much lost interest because it feels like this part is completely disconnected from the other one, except for the fact that my parents' house was haunted, and that's why I got into paranormal investigating, which is fine. But that whole first third could be one paragraph of this is why I'm into hauntings and shit. Mm. But we spent all that time building up Pat, and it's just like, and also we're going to go to a fucking asylum.
Well, you know what this is? Another series of vignettes.
Hey! As we pulled up to the front gates in our van, I could feel my heart racing from excitement.
DP, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just zonked out because I'm just like, well, I want something to happen.
Right.
All right. Anyway, the ghost had a gun, and it shot me in the abdomen. There you go, DP. No. I have to advise anyone thinking of doing this to not do this. Not only is it actually trespassing, since overnight investigations aren't allowed, but what I encountered here scared me off of paranormal investigation for the rest of my life. Oh, so it's not a backstory of how you get into it. It was when we stepped foot on the grounds that the horror would really begin. Here we go, DP. The horror's beginning.
Well,
After
this is a
jumping the
story
shark.
all about how I got into a thing and then left it immediately.
I met one little Pat, and I wasn't scared. Oh, well.
After jumping the gate and walking around outside, I noticed in the window, one of the upper floors, I could see a man. Ellipses standing there, staring at me. He was completely white from head to toe. White clothes, pale skin, arms spaghetti, knees weak, white wrapper. He even had white hair. It was Eminem.
So I want to point out, he doesn't have white clothes, he has white clothes.
I'm wearing clothes.
Yes!
I am white.
I am the white man.
There's something about the way Abysmii does it that just fucking breaks me.
Why did I picture somebody dressed in all black at a Portland protest, just saying that, like, they're like, are you a cop? Are you with the media? You know, what are you doing here? Did you just hear, I am a white man?
I was picturing the Virgin from the Virgin and the Chad meme, but he's all white. He's in white clothes, he's albino with white hair. I am Virgin. I am white.
Hello.
Let me out. Let me out of here.
I have a credit card. I like mayonnaise.
I have poor posture.
Do you have any IPAs?
God damn it.
God damn it.
I kind of stole that from Atlanta, but whatever. Something about him made me feel incredibly uneasy, and everyone else said the same. We all knew that something was wrong because never before had we been scared off of a location this easily before. We got out of there pretty quickly, packed into the van, and took off. Wow, you guys...
That's it?
All right, gang. I think it's time to go back to the malt shop.
This is frustrating because, like, if some crew came up to me and said, hey, you want to take a weekend and fucking check out an asylum and, like, be camera crew or something, I'd probably fucking do it. I don't believe in ghosts, but it would be fun just to do it, just for, like, a change of pace and to, like, spook myself a bit. And so it's like, that's what people, like, a lot of people get into it for, is just, like, this practice, this mechanical motion of going through and just setting up equipment and shit. So, it's that scary, you just fuck off after you spent all this time in preparation?
Boy, am I glad that he's in the asylum and we're out here and the Pat's over there and I forgot I'm my grandfather. Guys, said Andrew, who was sitting in the back of the van with his wife, Jen. Oh, we're getting characters now. My friend, Jamie, Jen and Jamie, and I.
Oh. My girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, my girlfriend. I friend-zoned him. My girlfriend, Jamie, and I.
Jaime.
What?
Jaime. Actually, I can't tell if that's supposed to be Jamie or Jaime.
Okay, let me restart. My girlfriend, Jaime, and I looked out the back window and saw what he was seeing. There was the man in white, on a bicycle, pedaling madly after us. Playing cards in the spokes. When I looked closer, they were all tarot cards. The death card, specifically. Okay, that's not in the story. There was the man in white, standing in the middle of the road. The only part of him not white being his eyes, which were instead glowing bright red.
I found his bicycle.
I want to come with you.
We were really freaked out, my girlfriend and myself, Javier. I could feel my heart racing as we all tried to register what we had just seen. Soon I felt myself starting to doze off when Andrew once again exclaimed, "Guys, let's go to the malt shop." I sprung awake as Javier and I turned around. The thing that is following us, he continued. It follows, in fact.
Wow.
Okay, so it is just Jamie. It's just spelt like a different way.
Slimebeast 1, Abysmii 0.
Yeah, fair enough.
Stop being Hispanic.
No. As we looked out the window again, Jamie squeezed my arm. The man in white was directly behind us, and it looked like he was just standing in place. But he was somehow keeping up with the car. At this point, we had all started to freak out, and I turned around to tell Bill, the driver, to speed it up.
So this is like Disney World where they say, "And a ghost will follow you home." And they have like a projected thing.
Zoinks, step on it!
Zoinks, Scoob, step on it! Why am I driving? Oh no!
You're the only one who's not completely high.
Written, run!
What if Scooby-Doo is a human, but they're all just fucking tripping on shrooms?
That's my headcanon.
Yeah. Why have you ridden after me? Why am I Fat Albert? Hey, guys, stop.
Hey, gang, why is our mystery machine going so slow?
I'm not a dog. Stop feeding me biscuits. As I turned back to look out the window again, I noticed that the man in white was gone. Where did he go? I asked Andrew. I don't know, he responded. He just disappeared.
The giant killer boulder is Fat Albert.
God damn it. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you white motherfuckers.
You stupid crackers.
Pieces of shit.
Stop dumping crack in my neighborhood.
I want that to be a special crossover episode where Fat Albert is just trying to get them to stop selling drugs in his neighborhood. Oh, fuck.
Oh, it just choked me out spit.
And then Fred was just like, "Where the white man at?" We thought that maybe we outran it or just gave up. But then Jen started to act weird. Andrew had said she was feeling really sick, so she went to sleep on his shoulders.
Like
we didn't think anything of it and just chalked it up to her being exhausted. So we got like, you can't just introduce characters like this. Like, if you want this to be like about, hey, me and the gang, Bill, Andrew, Javier, Fat Albert, Dog Guy.
Yeah.
Velma. Oh, okay. So two things. Number one, I think it should be fell asleep on his shoulder, like, you know, putting a head on his shoulder. But the way it's written, I imagine her, like, curling up like a cat and then, like, wrapping around his neck.
Yep.
And two, to kind of reinforce what Dead Pallet said, like, this problem of we were being stalked by a ghost, and then we started to feel really sleepy, so we all just started falling asleep, like, too much, too quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
What does it mean when she says jinkies? That sounds racist. When we got home, is this me?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No,
God
it's
damn
me.
it.
When we got home, Andrew, Jen, and Bill said their goodbyes and left. We were concerned about Jen because she still looked like absolute crap. Ouch.
She always did.
We hoped she was feeling better in the morning. Later that night, I began to feel sick myself.
All right. In the middle of the night, I ran to the toilet and threw up the man in white. Wait. Hello, he said. I felt like I was going to throw up and ran to the bathroom, but nothing came out. I walked over to the sink and noticed how pale I was looking. I was close. I decided to turn in for the night, and Jaime agreed to stay the night and to keep an eye on me. Okay.
I love you, Javier. I love you too, my white boyfriend.
I love you too, Andrew.
Javier doesn't even know the name. I love you too, my white boyfriend.
My name's Derek. Yeah, okay. That's nice.
My name is nice. Don Tremember.
Yeah, my boyfriend over here, he loves IPAs. Oh, yeah, wow, how'd you meet him?
I peed in his egg.
God damn it.
Guys, peeing in a butthole is super difficult.
Yeah, from like afar.
But impressive.
No, I mean like if you like a water bottle.
Yes, Brandon, please continue with the explanation.
Good.
We're all dying to hear it.
Good.
This is necessary for the conversation.
No, but there's an issue of your body is trying to prepare to expel one fluid, and it's just like, nope, don't want to let that fluid out.
Yeah, well, the same goes for vaginal sex, too.
God damn it. Vaginal sex, too, in theaters this summer.
All I'm trying to say is that peeing with an erection is already difficult.
Oh, yeah, peeing with an erection sucks. It's not fun.
But then adding on the difficulty of trying to pee into a butthole.
God. What the fuck?
This is another one of your Chelsea car conversations. Look, Chelsea, it's really difficult to pee in a butthole.
She's like, stop waking me up.
Been circling this block for 3 hours. Please tell me what the next turn is.
She wouldn't know where to go either. Women drivers, am I right?
God damn it.
I fell asleep, and as soon as I woke up by loud noises, my initial thought was that Pat must have been active again. So at first, I ignored it.
Oh, I know what's going to happen. Go ahead. The man in white is going to show up, and Pat is going to kick his ass and throw him out. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
But how can you deal with my stand? Pat.
God damn it.
It just kept going, however, which sounded like someone rummaging through the drawers in the kitchen.
I have no interest to continue this story.
So anyway, peeing in a butthole is difficult, but you can make it work. You just have to have perseverance and concentration. It's more a mental thing than a physical thing. Mm-hmm. And once you realize that, the barrier to entry is a lot lower and a lot easier to fill.
Uh-huh. Oh, God. Who was it?
It's me. And I'm questioning if I really want to continue reading this. I kind of just have utterly run out of steam.
I would normally say that I don't like quitting on a story ever, but when I look at how much of this is left, I'm like,
And it's not even that much because a lot of these are 2-sentence paragraphs, one line of dialogue, but the way this is written is so truncated and sporadic as far as plot and characters that there's no through line, there's no connective tissue. And I just don't like.
This is a pizza.
No stakes.
This is a pizza that's all crust because it's like.
Right.
There's some moments where it's like there was a man in white and he was a ghost. Anyway, now we're back to this long explanation of everything else in the world. It's like
I got haunted and all my friends got sick and then they left and that was okay. But one of them was still sick and then I felt sick and then I went to bed and then I heard a sound outside. Okay.
Why don't we try to power bottom through this? What do you say? Just try to see if we can get through it. Try to keep our shenanigans to a minimum.
We've recorded for almost an hour and a half. I'm going to call no. I'm going to vote no.
All right, let's democratize this shit. DP, what do you vote?
I didn't give up on achieving one of my lifelong goals, which, it's on my bucket list, which was peeing in a butthole. And I achieved that. I feel like I can achieve anything. Let's power through this.
All right. Where am I?
Suddenly. I was peeing into a butthole.
Suddenly, there was the sound of crashing and screaming. Fat Albert had broken into my home again. I recognized the voice as being Jaime, so I sprung out of bed and into the kitchen, where the source of the noise was. Standing there was the man in white, standing over the bloodied body of my girlfriend.
Oh, well, so much for what I thought.
Good enough for you.
Oh, sorry.
Marry me.
Now, if your girlfriend is dead, way easier to pee into her butthole because her bowels are just really loose.
God damn it. There were what appeared to be knife wounds all over the body, and a horrified look of pain and fear was frozen on her face. Frozen reference here. I screamed in anguish at the sight of her corpse, and angry with my tears of anger, there it is again, in my eyes. My hyper-realistic eyes. I ignored my initial fear and ran directly at the man in white, tackling him and knocking the knife out of his hand. Okay, there we go.
He pulled up to a fight like, what if I got a big cock, and landed a blow after blow on him, and I overpowered him surprisingly easy.
I'm a badass. Okay, good.
Tackle ghost. Okay.
I fired my 9mm into his chest. Anyway, continuing.
Don't mess with us
gamers. Out my 9mm?
Don't mess with us gamers. Not a single drop of blood stained his clothes. He remained entirely clean, and the only part of him that was red was his demonic-looking red eyes.
What he didn't know is that I had iron sights on, and I can 360 no-scope. I reached over and grabbed the knife, ready to plunge it into his chest, but suddenly I felt a hand grab my arm. I looked over, and it was Pat. He was completely solid now, and I could see more features.
So is the narrator dead? On his face was a graying goatee, and his short hair also had spots of gray. Honestly, he looked similar to my father, with some minor differences here and there, mainly the dick size. Don't, he said to me as he took the knife from my hands.
He placed the knife on the counter and walked over to the man with white, who was now standing.
He walked over and white.
He walked over and looked angry, was plastered on his pale face, and red eyes looked even more terrifying. No, I said Pat as he grabbed the man by the throat. Not this time.
Who called it? Slimebeast called it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
A look of fear replaced the anger on the pale man's face as Pat turned his head to face me. He gave me that signature smirk and nodded his head. I was completely confused as to what was happening, but I nodded in response.
You know, I really loved in Friday the 13th at the end of the movie where Jason was about to kill the final person, but then a different guy in a hockey mask with a knife killed him and nodded at the protagonist and walked away. That was my favorite part.
I love that Pat just turns around and gives the main character a thumbs up.
He's a giant dead rat, yeah. Pat the rat. Oh. Pat then turned his attention to the man in white, still gripping his throat with both hands, and closed his eyes. Suddenly a bright light came from Pat, and it engulfed them both. I could hear the sounds of a demonic wail as the light swallowed them and disappeared. Bum, bum, bum.
This feels like Ghostbusters fanfic.
Kind of, yeah. Along with the light, Pat and the man in white were gone. Suddenly I looked to the floor where there had been a beaten up the man in white and saw Javier. She was crying and shivering in fear, her face bruised and bloody.
Okay, so he just beat the shit out of his girlfriend.
He's just covering up. Yeah.
Officer, you don't get it. She was the man in white.
Oh, another man in white story. Sure, tell it to the judge. Toy.
Jaime, I exclaimed as I tried to approach her, but she screamed and backed away from me. I looked at my hand, still covered in the blood that was not my own, and looked over at Jaime. It was at that moment I realized what I had done.
Okay, for real though, she's not going to hold this against him, right? Because, I mean, all of them saw a ghost, right? And they all know paranormal things are real, right? So if he said it was a paranormal thing, she would have to believe it because she's seen it, right?
Well, he was possessed, and she wasn't, so she doesn't understand possession.
Yeah, but I mean, he can just say it was a ghost. Ghosts are real. It wasn't the man in white that I was attacking. We know. It was Jaime. She sat on the floor, her arms around her knees, and sobbed. I fell to my knees and sobbed into my hands. We sobbed on each other. With the room filled with tears, we drowned. Now we're ghosts. I'm sorry I choked out. I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead.
This was 10 years ago. I never experienced anything paranormal ever since, as I had given up the desire to seek it out. Even Pat is gone. I never saw him again after he and the man in white were engulfed in the bright light.
All of my friends and my now ex-girlfriend are no longer a part of my life. The reason the man in white took so long to attack me and Jaime was that he first attached himself to Jen. They weren't so lucky, and Jen ended up throwing Andrew out of their bedroom window and jumped herself after realizing what he had done. Didn't she? Whatever.
I guess what the man in white had done could be the he, but I think it's a typo.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's a typo anyway. Bill was next. I don't even remember Bill. And he ended up... Bill... Who the fuck is Bill?
Bill's the driver.
Oh, okay.
Bill's here.
Bill was next, and he ended up getting hit by a car. Makes sense since he was the driver. After running into the middle of traffic. He thought a bus was the man in white.
The ghost, he just ran into the middle of traffic.
Yeah. I like the idea of buses going by, and he's like, the man in white, and he goes to fight it, just smacks into him.
Have at me.
After that was when the man in white possessed me. The only reason Jaime and I are alive was because of Pat. He stopped me from killing her, and he saved my life in the process. We get it. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
So why did, how do we know what was happening to Bill if Bill died?
Shut up. That's why.
Jamie understood the situation, but couldn't stand being around me regardless. Seeing me kept reminding her of our friends, and she never forgot the experience of me nearly beating her to death with my big, burly, muscular man body.
Mm-hmm.
She left me shortly after she was released from the hospital.
She claimed that she was attacked by a random assailant, so I never faced any repercussions for what I had done, even though a part of me still feels that I should, even if I was manipulated by some evil entity. It was my hands that hurt her. I never forgave myself. I miss Jaime. I miss all of my friends. Most of all, though, I can't wait to go to Disneyland. No, I miss Pat.
He misses Pat more than his girlfriend. Huh? Sorry?
I also miss Highlight.
Okay. He was there my entire life. I don't know what exactly happened between him and the man in white, but every reader knows. Thank you. But he was gone now, and I blame myself. I brought that thing into my home because I was nosing around where I didn't belong. Pat saved me and Jaime and sacrificed himself to do it. And none of it had to happen to even happen.
But Pat said not this time when fighting the man in white. I thought this was all like fate or some shit.
Pat has been reading the Ghost newspaper, and he's been reading about the white man killings. He's like, if that guy ever shows up here, I'm going to show him what for. He's like posting on Reddit, if the man in white came to my house, you best believe I'd have my 9mm.
Military.
Yeah.
Military. I don't know where Pat came from, and Cotton-eyed Pat. I don't know. Red-eyed, cotton-eyed Pat. I don't know where he went. I don't know if he was a ghost. I don't know if he was a ghost or an angel or something, but I'm thankful he was a part of my family for so many years. I hope that wherever he is now, he is at peace.
Not poorly written in terms of, I don't know, the technicalities of it, I guess would be the term.
Yeah, there's not too many grammatical errors or anything.
It's just all crust, no pizza. I don't know how else to say it.
There's no stylistic substance to this. It feels like it's bereft of creativity. It feels like bullet points of a story, and it's missing just sentences that lead one scene into another, and structuring the narrative to where we don't need 15 paragraphs of this is who Pat is, and then switching to the scene at the asylum that barely happens, and then 10 years later, like, I barely remember what happened in the story.
Well, here's the thing though, would we feel any different if this was the first one we read, not the Night Stalker thing? Like, if we had read this by itself, would we still be... Are we tired?
No, I think we would have bored of this.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, if you at home have a Pat in your house, and if you've seen a man in white, please let us know in the comments below. I don't know.
One like keeps the man in white away.
Every like makes the man in white faster. Every subscription gives Pat more strength.
Oh, yeah. Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, peeing in a butthole. Let's talk about techniques, some tips, and what you're going to need to know.
So
You're
here's
the
my
only
question.
person who wants to do this.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Okay guys, I got an interview with SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, and a party with Kanye tomorrow, so I need a full mixtape done by tonight to show off to my legions of fans. Also, I'm taking Elias with me as a meat shield, so no pawning off the work on him. Later, bitches.
Oh god.
What an insignificant little bitch.
I thought he was joking when he wanted us to come up with this rap name, but he's gone straight from, instead of making, shitty songs in his parents' basement, to hiring ghostwriters and producers to do his shitty songs.
I say we just cleave his skull and leave his body in the desert.
That would technically be more work than what we're about to do.
Yeah, but I kind of would enjoy it more.
I know you would, but I'm not going out to the desert because it's too fucking hot and cold.
Bog?
At the same time.
How about a bog? We cleave his skull open, drop him in a bog.
You may live near a bog. I don't live near a bog. Where the fuck am I going to find a bog?
Chuck E. Cheese?
Look. I already got some basic beats off the internet because God knows I'm not going to make anything for this.
That'd be a good name for a Whole Foods alternative, Basic Beats.
Basic Beats? I could see that. Yeah. I bet you that exists in some fashion.
No.
But here, I'm going to send the first one to you right now. Give it a listen for a few bars. Think you can rap over that?
I can rap over anything. Hello.
That is why he hired you, I guess.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm going to start it in about 3 seconds, so just go when you're comfortable. Here you go.
All right. Yo. Slimebeast. Worldwide. Y'all know how it be. And y'all know me. Y'all know how I be. Song. Come on, take a shit if you want to take a shit. Everybody take a shit on my carpet. Let's all get together and take a shit. Link arms with me, let's take a shit. Drop your pants around your knees. Take a shit if you please.
Stop.
Shit. What?
Stop. Slimebeast.
Poop.
That is way, way too intelligent for modern audiences. We they're going to see right through that, especially for someone who just popped in on the scene.
So it's way too intelligent, and people are going to see right through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to hear it, and they're going to be like, well, what is this lyrical mastercism? I can't process this. No. Also, you have to pretend that you're Brandon.
Well, I'm speaking to the common man, and the common man shits. So
the common man doesn't buy rap. So I got you know what? I got a different beat. Here's a different one. I'm going to send you, just you can rap over anything apparently. So here we go. You ready?
All right. I don't know if I can shit out gold twice, but I'll try.
Whatever. You're going to have to try, or else we can't leave. And if we can't leave, then I can't go to the bar. And if I can't go to the bar, then we're going to have problems. So, all right, here you go.
Paprika's going to have problems.
I heard that.
Yeah. Dead palate here. Huh? What? Rolling through Blampton, got my Grampton, hitting up Brampton with a Flampton Gampton. Pull out my gat and go bramp, Flampton the flap and dap, blap to gap. I got a whole tack and a flap to grap. A mop, bap, a glap, a tap, map, a sap. Raggedy flappity pap, pap, a gap, and nap, shap to flap and dap.
Stop. Slimebeast.
What?
That is the hottest fire I have heard all week.
Oh, I thought you were going to be mad at me.
No.
You're always mad about everything.
It's too good. People are going to see...
Oh, so you are mad at me. Fucking surprise. Surprise. Okay.
You have to tone this shit down.
Shock of the century.
You have to appeal to the lowest common denominator and all this dumb shit that people like and think about in their daily lives.
Do people think in their daily lives, though? I thought we were here to put thoughts in their heads. Tell them what to like, what to buy, what to do, what to say.
We want to reaffirm their gut instincts, okay? Mm-hmm. So just sing about girls or love or some shit. I actually do have a beat I made. I'm going to send it to you. Take your time. Send it yourself. Go back to when it was high school or whatever. Just sing about girls. Let's just do that, and then we can fucking live,
If I'm going back to high school, I'm going to be singing about teachers.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Let me just start by warming up before you send the track over.
Okay.
Mr. Johansson, where are your pants? Okay. Go.
Lyrics by Abby.
Manic Pixie Dream Girl. I'ma make you scream, girl. Call you ice cream, girl. I'ma lick your feet, girl. Why are you so cray-cray? Hey, let's have a three-way. You, me, and the DJ. Abysmii, drop your PJs. Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Too silly for the real world. I'ma make your toes curl. Seriously, show me your feet, girl.
Perfect. This is the exact low-effort nonsense that people eat up on SoundCloud. Brandon will not even know the difference.
All right. So, how much are you paying me?
Well, Brandon's paying you.
How much is Brandon paying you to pay me right now?
I mean, I have a separate fee agreement with him.
You're going to have a severed femur if you don't fucking pay me. I'm just saying. It's going to be bog time for Abysmii. You want to get bogged down?
Boy, howdy. I hope everyone enjoyed episode 100 of the Fear Fiction Podcast, where the five of us were having a great old time, and then myself and Chelsea were attacked for all of our impromptu jingles rhyming the same words with themselves. And I felt attacked, and I just wanted to share with you, how I discovered to rhyme, because I came up with another jingle, and I think it's excellent, and it doesn't rhyme the same words with the same words.
Well, I just want to point out before we started recording, DP did mention this to us and asked us not to do that again, but the way he did it was he brought in Chelsea, the two of them clapped and said, Chelsea and DP feel attacked. Chelsea and DP feel attacked. Chelsea and DP feel attacked.
So I was going to a Target. This is already turning out to be a Chinese dog bath. I was going to a Target.
God.
And we were just trying to get some towels, and it was a very rural Target, and a lot of people were wearing country hats, and so we came up with a jingle, big country towels, toweling off in your house, big country towels, put them into your mouth.
Okay.
And that's the song. There's also something...
Give me a backup jingle, like a second one you have in reserve, just in case.
Big country towels, toweling off in your house. Big country towels, they're the heart of the South.
I like that one better.
Now, what if somebody hears this on the radio or on TV or wherever it would be, and they just switch the channel where it says "Big Cunt"? Have you thought of what happens in that case?
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the cunts. This is just a plug for towels. They're great. I'm a fan of the towels that are like really terry cloth, and like when you touch them, they're aggressively dry, and they just like absorb moisture real well.
Big cut, aggressively dry. By the way, Elias, bleep out every time we say the C word.
I really enjoy getting that jingle on CD because it has a scratch on it and a skip, so it says "Big Cunt Mouth."
Yeah, there you go. Sounds like a
big cunt.
Sounds like a KMFDM song or something. But so your plug is for towels.
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking Hitchhiker's
I don't know if this is better or
here.
worse than the Chinese dog bath story.
At least it wasn't a cold open. At least it's a plug.
True.
It's a cold outro.
Ugh.